Is this the time to get trigger happy, or is this the time to clear the air? In this video, we're going to delve into a number of very particular points that show us what on earth is happening out there in the market right now. Now, one thing to bear in mind at this point is that, of course, we have the US economy and government in lockdown. Well, the US government in lockdown at the moment. And of course, that is actually, as you can see, currently stagnating all of the markets. The last couple of days have just been a little bit chippity choppy over here. And if we really have a look, you can see that the price kind of wicked down to this level, telling us, well, we don't actually want to be underneath the $120,000 price, and that we feel quite comfortable being holding this level as a very much a decent support. Now, if we were to come down further, I would see us probably coming down to the 618 here, the golden pocket zone, which would probably see us come into this white box around that area if we were to come down. Doesn't mean we will, but if you want to trade, make some money with me in this cycle, because I'm continuing to add to my position here on spot, and I am trading very, very hard at the moment, ladies and gentlemen, because the choppiness does give us some volatility, which of course does give us a very beautiful amount of trading opportunities. Now, if you want to know more about all of that, then of course, as you can see here, I shared a video with you. Clearly the community loved this video, so shout out to all of you, and thank you for being here, part of this community, in terms of showing up and giving and sharing support here on these very beautiful moments, because Bitcoin, and this video will detail a little bit more on from this. And of course, my videos, I like to kind of tag each video as to the narrative that I bring to this community. Okay, so in other words, the story continues. It's like an open book here with a new page every video to describe to the community. So if you appreciate that, please make sure to obliterate the like button in this video. Now, clearly you did like this. As you can see, 5,528. I did this 3 days ago, so it's 5,531 days. Now would take us to about $15.67 million of profit. One of the posts I'm going to share with you today only shows a small amount of profit over a similar period of time, but I'm going to show you why there is such a significant difference between what they said and what I've said here. Now, if we were to continue that journey to the $1 billion by 2038 for Bitcoin, I mean, yes, it sounds ridiculous, my friends. I don't know if it could hit that price. That's a very, very high ask, but I do believe comfortably we could probably hit around a $2 to $3 million price by the 2038 mark. Now, let's delve right into the rest of the content. There literally is no second best in Bitcoin, and this is the post I was referring to, because here it says 15 years to 2,433,000%, but what they haven't taken into account is the following. First of all, let's have a look at Bitcoin here. January 2009, which is pretty much when the first transaction was done, it was basically nothing. No exchanges or market. Users were mainly cryptography fans who were sending Bitcoins for hobby purposes, representing low or no value. In March 2010, users smoked too much, auctioned 10,000 BTC for $50 cumulatively, but no buyer was found. But yet in May 2010, which was only 2 months later, on May 22nd, 2010, this guy here made the first real world transaction by buying 2 pizzas in Jacksonville, Florida for 10,000 Bitcoin. And then as of 2025, that would be an amount that would roughly be about $1.1 billion worth. Now, if 10,000 BTC was less than $1, I mean, that would be $100. I'm not sure 2 pizzas back in May 2010 cost $100. I didn't do that homework for you guys, so you guys can go do that for yourself. The point being, here is that I want to point out to you, even though it was 0.01 cents, and here was basically nothing, if we have a look at the value, okay, the first ever $1 was about 1,309 Bitcoin, okay, which equals about 0.00076 per BTC, dollars per BTC. Now have a look at this really powerful crypto message, and you can see on this day of 2009, New Liberty Standard gave Bitcoin its first ever price. $1 equals 1,309 Bitcoin. Imagine you had 1,309 Bitcoin, my friends. Okay? So if you bought $1 on the first day ever that Bitcoin was launched with New Liberty Standard, that 1,309 Bitcoin that you bought with that $1 would be worth how many threes is this? That's 3, that's another 3, that's $160 million worth of Bitcoin today, my friends. $160 million. And here is the message in this video.
Meet Ben. He's turning 18 today. To celebrate, he decides to invest for the first time. It just so happens that on this day, Bitcoin receives its first valuation. That's about $0.00076 per BTC. Many dismissed it as a joke. But Ben was determined to take his first step. Adulthood, he laughs, as he buys $1 worth of Bitcoin. Today, Ben turns 34, and he's more than ready to retire with over $140 million in BTC. A very happy birthday indeed.
Would you not say that that is an exceptionally, extraordinarily powerful message, my friends, my community? If you do believe so, make some noise by liking the video down below. All right, and that is why 2,433% doesn't make sense. It's way higher, and as per my calculation in my video here, it's about 15.67 million if you take all of that into consideration. However, I think it's probably even more than 15.67 million. CoinGecko seems to think from $67 that it's 180,000% return. So, you know, do the math for yourself, my friends, if you really want to know. But if you want to know and you want me to do it, let me know down in the comments below. So 52 years worth of depegging gold from the dollar, we have had only a 6,200% gain. Silver at current price today at $50 is about 50 years and 1,160%. I don't know who you're kidding, but even going forward into the future, I still believe that there is a huge, at least 10,000x out of Bitcoin. And I'm talking like maybe 30, 40, 50 years, guys. I'm not talking about the next 5 years. So if you want to drop nasty comments down below, as some of you have, you know, at the end of the day, you need to be a little bit more humbling and realistic in the term that will happen over. Obviously, that's not going to happen this cycle. So, yeah. Well, BlackRock CEO Larry Fink, no one should be surprised if Bitcoin hits $300,000 this cycle. When the most powerful man on Wall Street speaks, you listen. My target is $300,000 this cycle. I said end of October. Today's 10/10 on 2025. You know, at the end of the day, whatever it will be, it will be. Okay, whether it's $1 million or 300,000 or 150,000, doesn't matter. It will be what it will be. The point being is it's very likely it's going to be a lot higher than what it is right now. And stay tuned. Stay with me on this video. I'm going to show you exactly why. Now, Bitcoin does mirror gold, and we're at 142 days, whereas gold had 144 days. We're mirroring that. Are we about to, in the next 2 to 3 days, see a major move for Bitcoin to the upside? I'd love to know what your thoughts are. Who can actually tell right now is the question. Because right now, Bitcoin adoption S-curve is massively bullish. Bitcoin adoption has reached 4.7% globally, matching the internet's adoption level in 1999. All right, that's somewhere here. All right, look at where we're about to go. Do you think that Bitcoin can't hit $1 billion? Because if you do think it can't hit $1 billion, well, I don't know where your mind's at, but the way that they print money, there's nothing else to do. They just print money. Stack your sats, because China has just injected 612 billion yuan in liquidity today. It's also mega bullish for Bitcoin, my friends. And just in, the probability of the Federal Reserve cutting interest rates again this month rises to 96%. But there is a little caveat to this. Is it going to be another 25 basis points, or are we going to see a much greater cut in points? What do you think? Down in the comments below. Could BTC's 4-year cycle be over now? It might not be. Also, liquidity is expected to substantially increase in Q4 and Q1 of 2026. As you can see here, look at the potential. It's just been chilling sideways. I mean, this has been an accumulation phase, to be very, very straight up be honest. So are we at the point where it could collapse again? I don't believe so. I think we could see a massive rally into 26. And if history repeats itself, Bitcoin could reach $265,000 this year, my friends. Are you ready for this? If you are, make some noise. Of course I get excited. At the end of the day, when these two dudes come together, they just confirmed that the USA will buy more Bitcoin. So what are you doing, my friends? Why are you sitting on the sidelines and not accumulating already enough Bitcoin and Satoshis? Because currently Bitcoin's market cap is 2.4 trillion, where gold's market cap is 27 trillion. That is a gold, and of course, gold valued in Bitcoin has gone down by 99.99999% over the last 14 years. Okay, so gold parity right now is 1.3 million per Bitcoin, dollars per Bitcoin. The prices and the evidence are coming a lot faster than you believe, my friends. With the whole world adopting Bitcoin, nation states, 4.7% of the world has adopted Bitcoin right now. Only 4.7%. Imagine it had to go up to 20%. That would be 4x where we at right now. Just in, BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF has now surpassed 800,000 Bitcoin in assets under management, worth approximately $100 billion. Okay, this is a $1 trillion institution that has now gained 800,000 of the 21, maybe 17 million Bitcoin available. That's a lot of the supply being chewed up by one institution. Just saying, stack your Satoshis. Because the Fed Governor Miran says we should have an aggressive rate cut of 0.5 to 1%. What do you think it could be, my friends? Personally, I would expect an at least 0.5% reduction in interest rates. I would expect at least 0.5, which would absolutely catapult Bitcoin and the money printing machine even further beyond this galaxy. Because three whales have just bought $285 million worth of Bitcoin at 120k plus per Bitcoin. But yet, the Bitcoin price is still chilling. It looks like it's going down, but yet we're having all of this Bitcoin being bought. So what on earth is actually happening? What on earth is going on here? Do you think? Down in the comments below. Because even $14 trillion Moscow exchange just announced to launch Bitcoin trading for their 37 million users. I'm not quite sure you see how bullish we're heading here, my friends, because even the man of the hour, President Trump, says a massive rate cut is coming. We are undoubtedly going to get a minimum of 0.5. Beyond that, only they know right now. And when we look at this, could we have ever been in a 4-year cycle? Never been, according to Tech Dev, never been in a 4-year cycle, never been the halving, always been the business cycle that previously inflected every 4-ish years right near the halving. How do you know? Because it's also explained every other aspect of Bitcoin's chart. It's at a bottom, not a top. I do absolutely agree here with Tech Dev, because every time the chart was at the bottom, okay, we had the MACD flip absolutely bullish, okay? We had price action go parabolic. We haven't got to those points yet. I actually really like how TechDev has inverted the candles here. I think this is actually a very valid point on the MACD. These ones should be red and that should be green, because these are the zones to accumulate in, and these are the zones to take profit in, really, on the MACD. On the stochastic RSI, it's the same thing. My friends, we are so bullish here right now. Even JP Morgan analysts raised Bitcoin target to $165,000, citing parity with gold. If there is parity with gold, okay, we could go up to that $1.37 million price on Bitcoin. That's just the reality of this. But of course, I have to throw this into the mix. Bitty soon to $100 million club. Loading. Bitty is the Bitcoin mascot. You can see here, I have shown you this for some time. You can use your Phantom wallet and come to Dex Screener and hit in the Bitty Sol market cap. Make sure it's the pump swap one. Okay, you can see I've told you I've been accumulating this. I've been accumulating here this coin, my friends. Look at how nicely it has been waiting above this zone. It has broken out of this with a bit of momentum. We're back testing this zone here. I would expect this to go from 6.68 to the $100 million club quite soon, giving us a 10, 12, 14x on Bitty. And the reason I say that is because there is talks and noise about a potential Binance listing with Bitty. So again, you heard about Bitty on this channel a number of times, okay? You've heard about Bitty here for months now, like 2-3 months now already, okay? Don't tell me that I have not shared some alpha coins where you're going to 10x, 12x, 15x your cash. Because even this here is the next chapter for Bitcoin that is going to absolutely shock the world. I do agree here. This post is from Aurelion Ohayon, and the cross has happened. The flip is about to happen. Honestly, I do see us hitting 300k, 400k this cycle. When we hit that price target is anyone's guess right now.
The second is monetary liquidity sensitivity, global central banks easing. That's Bitcoin and Ethereum. And seasonally strong. I think they could make a monster move in the next 3 months, like huge.
Tom Lee said it himself live on CNBC that Bitcoin will make a monster move in the next 3 months because the supply shock is coming. It is there. It is here. And billionaire Ricardo Salinas says Bitcoin will also 8x to over 1 million very, very shortly.
The new global reserve asset, it will surpass gold. So take that as take-home values from this talk. One thing, Bitcoin will be more valuable than gold shortly. Now, today, you know, at $105,000 per Bitcoin, the 2 billion, the 20 million Bitcoins that are out there, well, they're worth, 2 point something trillion. Mm-hmm. Gold is worth like 16 trillion. So Bitcoin should go up at least 8 times to equate the storehouse or the value storage capacity of gold. And I have no doubts that it will happen very shortly. I mean, I wouldn't say when, but if you look at any trend, gold, in terms of Bitcoin, the trend is going down, and it's so easy to see, you know.
So why on earth would you want to go anywhere else and do anything else when I've shown you the number one asset in the world is chewing at the ankles of gold? It's spat out, even though there's so much hype around silver right now. It has literally chewed up and spat out every other asset on the planet in terms of gains over the last 15, 16 years now. My friends, I cannot emphasize any more to you how much potential value there is still behind Bitcoin. But if you know the value and you want to get to know the value, then make sure to use my private links down in the description below. You can get an additional deposit bonus, and of course you can go and then use that to buy more Bitcoin, of course. My friends, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to obliterate the like button. Thank you for being here with me, appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next one.